Provo with that story.
Calls for safety improvements after a student and a crossing guard are hit at this Orem intersection.
Canyon School District
In Provo, I'm Shara Park.
All right, Shara, thanks for that report. Well, right now, neighbors are calling for safety improvements at an Orem intersection. It comes after a crossing guard and an 11-year-old girl were hit earlier this week. News specialist Lad Egan joins us now with new developments there. Lad.
Yeah, well, what I've learned from investigators is that the 11-year-old girl who was hit in this intersection sustained only minor injuries and is home. But the 62-year-old crossing guard is still recovering in the hospital, but her injuries aren't as bad as first feared. Students from Orem Elementary signed a Get Well poster for their injured crossing guard today. She and the girl were hit by a car while in the crosswalk after school on Wednesday in this intersection of 400 South and 400 West. A neighbor who lives on the corner said the longtime crossing guard told him about her safety concerns in the busy four-way stop.
I know that she was upset, oftentimes mostly upset with just people who did not pay attention. Something definitely needs to be done. It's not right that there's an accident every other month.
Orem City tells me that they were already planning on installing traffic lights at this intersection, but that's a few years off because they first need to wait for a construction project to finish up that's installing a water tank nearby. In the meantime, to immediately improve safety, they are planning to install temporary traffic lights. The city engineer tells me that those temporary lights could be installed within just a few weeks if everything goes as planned and they get those approved. It would definitely be welcome news for neighbors, students, and of course the crossing guards. For Live at 5, I'm Lad Egan.
Thanks, Lad. A man who got into a shootout with
as we learn new details about what happened.
Something definitely needs to be done.
A renewed push for safety, what a community is rallying for after a child and crossing guard were hit this week.
It's much worse.
For the update, we do have new developments tonight in Salt Lake as a Kanab man has been officially charged with murder in a shooting outside of a downtown nightclub. Prosecutors say 37-year-old Dustin Peterson shot and killed Nicole Olson last month after getting into an argument with her boyfriend. Peterson claims that when he pulled the trigger, it was intended to be a warning shot. Well, that bullet hit Olson in the chest and killed her. Peterson then fled the scene, turning himself in to the Kane County Sheriff's Office the following day. If convicted, he faces up to life in prison.
Right now, neighbors are calling for safety improvements at an Orem intersection. It comes after a crossing guard and 11-year-old girl were hit earlier this week. News specialist Lad Egan joins us live with the new developments. Lad?
Yeah, the Highway Patrol says the crossing guard was in this intersection right there at the crosswalk holding a stop sign when she was hit along with that 11-year-old girl. The little girl suffered minor injuries and is home. The 62-year-old crossing guard still in the hospital recovering. Fortunately, her injuries aren't as bad as first thought.
There's not a week that goes by that I don't wave or say something to her.
Kelly Warnick appreciates the crossing guard that works in front of his house so much that he installed this bench for her.
She is very passionate about the kids. She is very protective, big mother bear who's watching over them.
Today, students from Orem Elementary stopped by that bench to sign a Get Well poster for their longtime protector. The crossing guard was in this crosswalk with a girl at 400 South and 400 West when they were hit Wednesday afternoon. Right now, the busy intersection is a four-way stop.
Something definitely needs to be done. It's not right that there's an accident every other month.
It's a very busy intersection for a four-way stop.
Orem City says they were already planning on installing traffic lights at the intersection, but that it's a few years off because of a nearby construction project. In the meantime, to immediately improve safety, they are planning to install temporary traffic lights.
We knew it needed to have a signal, and we thought maybe we should put it in now as opposed to waiting.
The traffic lights would be welcome news to neighbors who hope to welcome their crossing guard back soon.
I'm grateful for all the crossing guards out there and what they do for our children.
The city engineer says they could install those temporary traffic signals in just about a few weeks if they get all the permission. Those temporary signals would use wooden poles and span wires to hang the lights and then later be replaced with the permanent structures. Debbie, in terms of the investigation, the Highway Patrol is conducting that, and they say that it's still underway.
Okay, yeah, Lad, we get really attached to those crossing guards. Appreciate all they do. Thank you for that report.
I know.
New tonight, a major announcement.